Hi friends, Namaste. I am Anantashan. In this video, I propose to discuss another event, important event in the life of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So, this event is the death of her father, Sri Jawaharlal Nehru. Sri Jawaharlal Nehru died on the 27th May 1964. So this is during the Mahadasha of Mena, and between this Mena Mahadasha is from 19th November 61 to 19th November 72, 11 years. So the Antardasha sign in the Mena Mahadasha, so they are displayed here on the screen. So the Mahadasha sign Mena is even jewel sign, but we must remember that the first Rasi Mahadasha in this chart is that of Kumbha, that is a fixed sign. Yet there may be a doubt because Mena is a dual sign. The order of the Antardashas, maybe you may think they must be 1, 5, 9, etc. But it is not correct. The Antardasha sequence depends upon the first Mahadasha of this chart, that is, the sign where the Lord of the Arudha Lagna is present. So the Lord of Arudha Lagna is the moon, he is present in Kumbha, he is a odd fixed sign. So the Mahadasha order is 166. So the Antardashas in all the Mahadasha signs in this chart, whether they are fixed or mobile or dual, they follow only this 166 sequence. So the Mahadasha sequence begins with Kumbha when in the first Mahadasha and moves along 666 Sashta Krama. So all the Antardashas of all the signs in this chart follow the same Shasta Krama sequence. Here, the present Mahadasha is sign is Mena, that is an even sign. So the Antardasha sequence begins with Mena and moves along 666 in the reverse direction. So the Antardasha order and their periods are noted, displayed on the screen. So again, the Dasha Karakas. The Dasha Karakas for Mea Mahadasha. First Dasha Karaka is Jupiter, the Lord of the Mahadasha. So the other Dasha Karakas are displayed on the screen. Now, let us study some important events happened during Mena Mahadasha. That is, the first Mena Mahadasha is the death of her father. Her father, Jawaharlal Nehru, passed away on 27th May 1964. Here, this was during the Antardasha of Vrshabha in the Mahadasha of Mena, that is, from 19th September 1963 19th September 1963 to 19 August 1964. So just 2 months before the completion of this period, that is in May, he died. The Antardasha sign Vrshabha is the third sign from the Mahadasha sign Meena. So the third sign indicates death of father. How third sign does it indicate death of father? So there is an indirect relation. We know ninth house indicates father. So the seventh house from that ninth house is the Maraka house of father. So the seventh house from ninth is third house. So third house signifies the death of the father. So this is not a rule that whenever you have the Antardasha of the Antardasha in the third house from the Mahadasha, you need not think that always the death of the father is indicated, is likely to take place. But it is only an indication subject to the other connections. So the event now for our consideration is the death of the father of the native. So the Antardasha sign and the ninth from Antardasha sign must be taken together. The Antardasha sign and the ninth from Antardasha sign must be taken together. So again, A9, Lord of A9 and the ninth Dashakaraka indicate father. That is one group. The event of discussion is the death of the father. So, eighth house indicates death. A8, that is Arudha of the eighth house. It is called Mrutyupada. It also indicates death. So, we know the eighth house signifies death, and the Arudha of the eighth house is called Mrutyupada. So, in the Antardasha sign Vrishabha, the ninth from Antardasha sign, that is Makara, their lords, Venus and Saturn, are taken in one group, say A. Then A9. So let there be no confusion. I am talking 9 several times. The Antardasha sign and the ninth from Antardasha sign. Antardasha sign is Vrishabha. Ninth from Antardasha sign is Makara. There is one sector. A9, Arud of the ninth house. A9, that is Bhagyapada. That is Karaka. Bhagyapada is Karkataka. The ninth from A9, Mena. Their lords, Moon and Jupiter. The ninth Dashakaraka, Moon. They are one set. Another set is the Murchu, related to death. A8, A8 is Dhanus. 8th from A8, Karkataka. Their lords, Jupiter and Moon. The eighth Dashakaraka, Saturn. So here there are 3 sets. One set is Antardasha sign, ninth from Antardasha sign. They lost in one group. In the other group, there are 2 sets. A9, Lord of A9, ninth Dashakaraka, that is one set. The another one is A8, Lord of A8, 8th from A8, and the 8th Dashakaraka, another set. So these 2 sets belong to one group. The set of A9, 9 from A9, and also these A8, 8 from A8, these 2 belong to one group, that is B. Now, let's start the analysis from the Antardasha sign as usual. The Antardasha sign is Vrishabha. It is occupied by Jupiter, the lord of Dhanus and Mena. Here, Dhanus is Mrutyupada A8. Here, Dhanus has A8 or A10 also. I'm not talking about all other padas or karakas. I am talking about the padas and karakas relevant to the present event. That's all. So here there is A10 no doubt, but I am ignoring A8 for the time being. It is occupied by Jupiter, the lord of Dhanus and Mena. Dhanus has A8 in it. So Jupiter is A8. And 9 from A9 is Mena. A9 is Karkataka. 9 from Karkataka is Mena. So Jupiter is lord of A9 and lord of A8 and lord of 9 from A9. Next, Vrishabha is aspected by A9 in Karkataka. A9 is in Karkataka. Vrishabha, that is the Antardasha sign. Again, you must begin the sentence. The Antardasha sign Vrishabha is aspected by A9 in Karkataka, and also Rahu present in Karkataka. Rahu is K2 and K11, and that is in A9 Karkataka. The Karkataka has A9 in it, and it is the 8th from A8 Dhanus. So Karkataka is important because it has 2 padas, A9 and 8th from A8. A8 is Dhanus. Also, the 9th from A9 is Mena, and A8 Dhanus are in mutual aspect. These are the links, connections between A9 and A8. A8 from A8 is A9. Again, A8 Dhanus and 9th from A9 Mena are aspecting each other. A8, 9th from A9. 8th from A8, A9. So they are in mutual aspect. The Antardasha sign Vrishabha is also aspected by Makara, which is the 9th from Antardasha sign Vrishabha. So we have to consider the Antardasha sign and the ninth from Antardasha sign. Now we are considering Makara. The eighth Dashakaraka Saturn, who is also the Lord of Makara, the ninth from Antardasha sign. The ninth from Antardasha sign is Makara. The Lord of Makara is Saturn. Saturn is eighth Dashakaraka, is in his own house Makara, and Saturn aspects the Kumbha. So the Antardasha sign has the aspect of a Lord of Karaka, A8 Karaka, K8 Karaka. This Saturn K9, that is 8th Dashakaraka, and the Lord of Makara, the ninth from Antardasha in Vrishabha, is in mutual aspect with the Lord of A8. Lord of A8, that is A8 is Dhanus, Lord of Dhanus, Jupiter, and the Lord of Mena, 9 from A9. So the Lord of Antardasha sign Vrishabha is Venus. The sixth Dashakaraka, K6 combines with K5, Mercury in Tula. So K6 is Venus. Venus, no doubt, Venus is a benefic. But here we are considering the sixth Karakatva, because the present context we are discussing the death of somebody. Sixth house indicates this one, that is diseases. So Antardasha sign Vrishabha is Venus, the sixth Dashakaraka, K6 combines with K5 Mercury in Tola, which is again A6. Tola is A6, K6 is Venus, Venus is in Tola. So there is Venus and Mercury. These two, Venus and Mercury, are in mutual respect with the Moon. Again, Moon is, A9, and it is Lord of A9. So these two, Venus and Mercury, are in mutual aspect with the Moon from Kumbha. Moon is ninth Dashakaraka and also the Lord of Karkataka, which is A9. A9 is eighth from A8 Dhanus. Venus and Mercury are in mutual aspect. Venus and Mercury are in Venus and Mercury are in mutual aspect with the Sun and Mars in Simha. Sun is K3 and K12 for this Dasha. In the previous Dasha, Sun was K7. Here he is K3 and K12. The malefic Karaka and Mars is the fourth Dasha Karaka. So here, so now these the ninth house from Antardasha sign. Already you have seen Antardasha sign. The ninth from Antardasha sign is Makara, and is occupied by its own lord, but he is K8. So Makara and its lord Saturn, K8, combines with K2, that is K7, and they are aspected by Jupiter, that is K1 and K10. Jupiter is also the lord of Dhanus, K8, and Mena, that is 9 from A9. Dhanus is A8 and Mena is 9 from A9. And also the sixth from A6, Tola is A6, sixth from A6 is Mena. See, all the connections between them, the Antardasha sign Vrishabha, the ninth from Vrishabha, that is Makara, they lost Venus and Saturn in the one group, first group, are connected to the Tarakas A9, 9 from A9, Mena, they lost Moon and Jupiter, Moon, the ninth Dashakaraka, and also A8 Dhanus, the eighth from A8 Karkataka, they lost Jupiter and the Moon, and also the eighth Dashakaraka Saturn in the other group, are completely present to justify the death of the father of the native. Here, we may notice that almost each of the benefic Dashakarakas. So in this Dashakarakas, see, Sun and Saturn. Sun is K3 and K12. Mars, Sun and Mars. Mars is K4. Similarly, Mercury and Venus. One is a positive Dashakaraka and the other is a negative. That is malefic Dashakaraka. I am telling you. Here we may notice that almost each of the benefic Dashakarakas combines with or aspects a malefic Dashakaraka of this Vena Mahadasha. Vena Mahadasha. Entire Mahadasha. So Jupiter, K1 and K10, Jupiter, then K8 Saturn, they are mutual aspect. Mars K4 combines with the Sun, K3 and K12. K5 Mercury combines with K6 Venus. Perhaps these combinations indicate that some favorable events and also may take place during this unfavorable besides these unfavorable events like the death of the father. Now, let's take another event of the same Mahadasha and the same Antardasha. It is the way of God. So we lost our father in May 64. June, July, just within 2 months after the death of her father, she was inducted into the central cabinet by the then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. How she became the central minister first time. Later she became the prime minister also. But the first time she inducted into the central cabinet is during this period. See, Mrs. Indira Gandhi became the Minister of Information and Broadcasting in the central cabinet. That is in the you see this one. The 10th house signifies position and power. The fifth house signifies again power and authority. So the combination for the native to become a minister or an officer or the head of an office in government service is the Arudhalabha or Rajyapada A10 or their laws and the AMK Amarchakaraka or should be connected to the Uttarpada A5, Lord of A5, the Putrakaraka PK in the B10 chart, and then the native becomes a man of position and power. If Sun or Venus also are involved in the above combination, the native is an officer in the government or a minister. So here, Jaimini texts or even Parasara texts never differentiated between a minister and a bureaucrat. They say he becomes a king or equal to a king, a minister. So like this, they never say he is a minister or an elected representative or he is a bureaucrat. There is no difference in the combination between the minister, say for example, Home Affairs, and the Secretary of Home Affairs, Central Secretary, IAS. So there are no separate combinations for this. So the general combination I mentioned here is whenever you see any chart, you see if there is any combination for the native to become a minister, then you see Arudhalabha, A10 Rajyapada, their laws, and AMK. They are a one group. They must be connected to two sets, A10, Lord of A10, and Amarchakaraka. Then A5, Lord of A5, Putrakaraka. So then Sun and Venus, because Sun and Venus indicate government service. Because Jaimini explains in two sutras, if the 10th house from Karakamsa Lagna is occupied by Venus and Sun, the native is Tatra Ravi Sukrao Rajakarya Paraha. I think that is the sutra if I remember well. So Sun and Venus both, then the native works in government. So the classical texts may not made any distinction between bureaucrats, and political authorities. So, to verify this combination in the D10 chart and see if there is a promise in the position, promise for power and position in the D10 chart of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. As I already told you in the beginning, before we try to find out the combination, the Dasha Antardasha system, if in this Antardasha the native becomes a minister, but you must get satisfied yourself that there is a promise in the chart. See the D10 chart, there is a combination for a minister in that chart. So the chart promises political position. Then only you try to find out the connection in the Dasha Antardasha analysis. So when we come to the Dasha Antardasha analysis, see, we have to see if the Antardasha sign, the 10th from Antardasha sign, their laws must be connected to the Putrapada A5, Lord of A5, and the 5th Dashakaraka K5. And also, this is one set, A5, Lord of A5, and K5. These are three. Then the other set is the Rajapada A10, Lord of A10, and 10th Dashakaraka. When we come to Dasha, Antardasha sequence, we consider Dasha Karakas. And when we study the charts, we study Amachakaraka, Atmakaraka, etc., Charakarakas. So, the native may be expected to become an officer of or a minister during that sub-period. Now, we have to verify this combination applies to the present Mahadasha and Antardasha period. The native Mrs. Indira Gandhi was inducted into the cabinet of the Union Cabinet on 9th June 1964. 9th June 1964. It is highlighted in the on the screen there. So 9th June 1964, just within 2 months after the death of her father. That was the Mena Vrushabha Dasha. Mena Mahadasha, Vrushabha Antardasha. So it was during the Mahadasha of Mena from 19th November 1961 to 19th November 1972, 11 years, I already told you. And the Antardasha of Vrushabha, which is which operated from 19th September 1963 to 19th August 1964. It is also highlighted on the screen. So the Dasha Karakas of Dhyana Mahadasha are also shown on the screen. So the Mahadasha Antardasha Mena Vrushabha analysis. Mena Vrushabha analysis. The Antardasha sign Vrushabha is the third house from the Mahadasha sign Mena. Vrushabha aspects Makara, which is the 11th house from Mena. So Mena is somehow connected to the 11th house from Mahadasha sign. Mahadasha sign is Mena. The 11th house from Mena is Makara. Makara is aspected by Vrushabha. That is a good sign, positive sign. The present study is about the natives getting into the power and position as the central minister in the Union Cabinet. We have to study the 10th house from Antardasha sign. The 10th house from Antardasha sign is Vrushabha. 10th from Antardasha sign is Kumbha. And they must be taken together with their Lord of Vrushabha is Venus, Lord of Kumbha is Saturn. So we have to consider the Antardasha sign Vrushabha, the 10th from Vrushabha, that is a Kumbha, their lords Venus K6 and Saturn K8 in one group, say group A. We have to consider A10 Dhanus, Lord of Dhanus Jupiter, that is Jupiter is K1 and K10. The 10th from A10, 10th from Dhanus, that is Kanya, its Lord Mercury, that is K5, and also the Putrapada A5 in Vrushabha. Lord of A5, Venus, the 5th from A5, Kanya, its Lord Mercury, who is the fifth Dasha Karaka K5. See, don't be confused. In the earlier Mahadasha, Jupiter was K5. Here in this Dasha, Mercury is K5. These are in one group. See, the division of groups. Antardasha sign, the 10th from Antardasha sign, the lords in one group. Lord of A5, A5 Lord of A5, and the fifth Dasha Karaka in one group. A10, Lord of A10, and the 10th Dasha Karaka in one group. One set. A5, Lord of A5, and K5, fifth Dasha Karaka. They are in one set. A10, Lord of A10, 10th Dasha Karaka in one set. These two sets must be taken in group B. The Antardasha in Vrishabha, it is occupied by A5, the first favorable sign. You get tick marks. Yes, one is satisfied. It is occupied by Jupiter, the Lord of A10, and Lord of A10. That is, so yeah, no, I'm not considering A10, A8 here because A8 is irrelevant in this. A10 is important, so I am talking about A10 only. So make a tick mark. And the Lord of Mahadasha sign Meena, and K1 and K10, the 10th Dasha Karaka. Again, another tick. So we are following the checklist. So aspected by, that is the Antardasha sign Vrishabha is aspected by Rahu. Rahu is a K2 and K11, a benefic Dasha Karaka, and a benefic Karaka, aspected by Venus and Mercury. That is A9 and A8. 8 from A8 from Thola. Wait. So it is aspected by Venus and Mercury. Venus is the Lord of Antardasha sign, Vrishabha, and Lord of A5, and Vrishabha, the Lord of, Lord of Vrishabha. Then Mercury is K5, the fifth house from Antardasha sign, Lord of fifth from A5 also. It is aspected by K2, that is K7, and Saturn K8. Saturn is K8. So there must be K8, K3, K12 in the chart. They cannot go away. But we must see, whenever there is a malefic planet, you must see if the malefic nature of that planet is contained or neutralized by some stronger benefic aspect. Then only benefic events takes place. Not that we cannot avoid A8 or K8, K3, K6, all the planets must be there in the chart. So aspected by Mercury K5, the Lord of fifth from A5. Aspected by K2, K7, and Saturn K8. The Lord of Antardasha sign Vrishabha, A5. Venus is the Lord of K5, combines with Mercury K5, and also Lord of Kanya, the fifth from A5. Venus is aspected by Moon K9 and also the Lord of Karkataka, which is A9. Number 3, the 10th from Antardasha sign is Kumbha. And Kumbha, so far you have studied all the connections for the Antardasha sign Vrishabha. Now the 10th from Antardasha sign is Kumbha. The Kumbha is occupied by Moon, K9. And so I said I am avoiding your irrelevant padas. That is the A8, etc. Here A9 also is irrelevant, it appears. But A9 is relevant. I tell you the relevance for clean. And the Lord of Karkataka, which is A9, which is the that is 8th from A8 Dhanas. Kumbha is aspected by Rahu. Kumbha means the 10th from Antardasha, K2 and K4 from A9. So A9 is also aspecting Kumbha. Kumbha is aspected by Venus, Lord of A5, and Lord of Antardasha sign, and by Mercury K5, the Lord of Kanya, which is a 10th from A10. A10 is Dhanush, 10th from A10 is Kanya. The Lord of 10th from Antardasha sign, that is Kumbha. Its lord, Saturn, is the eighth Dashakaraka. Saturn is aspected by A5 in Varshabha. Jupiter, K1 and K10, and Lord of A8 Dhanus, and Lord of Meena, which is the ninth from A9. So I think A8 also is relevant. I tell you how. By Sun, the planet of government service, and also by Mars. Saturn is combines with Ketu. Now you can verify the connections for yourselves. Now you can find all the required connections are fulfilled, right? Then you can notice here one interesting combination. All along our thoughts are disturbed by your attention is diverted by the frequent interference of A8 Dhanus, Lord of A8 Jupiter, 8 from A8 Karkataka, its Lord Moon, and the 8. So like this, A8 and A9. Actually, A8 and A9 are not relevant here. But often you are being disturbed. Why? I tell you the reason. We have what is called inheritance. We know inheritance of property. If the father has 10 acres of land, automatically the son inherits the 10 acres of property. This is inheritance of property. That is natural, legal. There is another inheritance called inheritance of profession. Inheritance of profession is, for example, there are some professions where hereditary rights are observed. They are not simply observed, they are just followed. For example, there is a priest in your village, Purohit. Purohit becomes old. And after he becomes old, and he may not be able to continue his attend to his profession. Then his son, if he is proficient in the mantras, then he may take over the practice of his father, and he may become the Purohit, junior Purohit. That is inheritance of profession. So this inheritance of profession is possible not only in Purohit, but the priests in temples and advocates, doctors. There may be inheritance of profession from father to son. There is another inheritance. Suppose one gentleman is working in government. So he passes away while in service. Then his wife or his son, whoever is qualified, is given that appointment in government service on compassionate grounds. This is called compassionate appointment. This is also one kind of professional inheritance. Here, I want to show that the combination is, I'm telling you the combination, if you want, you can note down. The Arudha is connected to A9, A8. Arudha, the Lord of Arudha, A10, Lord of A10, and AMK. These are connected to A8, Lord of A8, and A9, Lord of A9. A8, Lord of A8, one set. A9, Lord of A9, another set. If they are connected to Arudha, Lord of Arudha, A10, etc., the native inherits the profession of the father. So here also, this is one kind of inheritance. Indira Gandhi became the Minister of Information and Broadcasting not because of her proved merit. Indira Gandhi she was proved powerful only later after 4 years. But by then, she was only the daughter of Jawaharlal Nehru. So, to please the people and to please the parliament members, then the stalwarts of Congress, Kamaraj Nadar, Nijlangappa, Sanjeev Reddy, those people supported and proposed Indira Gandhi to induct her into the government. Then Lal Bahadur Shastri followed it. So then she has no individual merit. It is only because of her father. So this is a death benefit. So here you see the chart of Indira Gandhi D10 chart. In the D10 chart, you see A8 is Dhanus and A9 is in Karkataka. So Karkataka, Arudha Lagna is Karkataka, Arudha Labha is Vrishaba. So Arudha Labha Vrishaba is aspected by A9 in Karkataka. Then there is, I think, Jupiter also is there in Karkataka in the D10 chart. Please verify. D10 chart. So Arudha Labha is connected to Jupiter, exalted Jupiter, and A9, and Venus. I think Venus is Amarcha Karka. Please verify. Stand for correction. And so this D10 chart indicates Arudha Labha, Lord of Arudha Labha are connected to A9 and A8. Lord of A9, Lord of A8, Karaka of father and Karaka of death Saturn. So these two combinations, a 9th house and 8th house combination in the 11th house. The combination of 9th house and 8th house. Of course, they lost also. In the Arvodalava ensures inheritance of profession. So this inheritance of profession is proved in this chart in the Dasha Antardasha sign also. So you please verify this. Thank you.